Hello, hello. How's everybody doing this evening? So, today we'll be playing a little bit of um, the life and suffering of Sir Brant, which promises to have definitely a lot of the latter, a lot of suffering. But yes, this game, if it can properly be captured by my OBS, there we go. There we go. If it can be properly captured by my OBS, we can go ahead and get started. I don't mind just putting the volume down a bit for me personally. JP, how are you going today? Tooru doko? Well, here I am. I am present. So, Hotaru, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? How are you this evening? How are you this evening, Hotaru? Hold on. Let's see if we have a little shout out. Hotaru-chan. Sorry I can't be active much because I still have classes. No worries, no worries. I appreciate your presence here. I appreciate your presence here. That's all good. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. Kenjo, welcome, welcome. How are you? How's everybody this evening? How is everybody doing? So, with your classes, Hotaru, I hope those go well. I definitely hope those go well. Okay, so we are now just getting into our youth. We've now become an adult, right? In the eyes of this universe, we are now an adult. The driver flicks the reins, the carriage slowly sways. All right, just as a little catch up, right? So essentially, this game is have a nice stream. No worries, no worries. You have a lovely evening. You have a lovely evening. I don't have a lurk function. I should probably do that. I should probably do that. But you have a lovely evening, Hataru. Appreciate you being here. So as a little catch up of what we were doing, we are currently playing through the life of Tooru Brante. And we are doing that in this sort of very brutalistic medieval fantasy world. And we have just gotten our way. We have just gotten our way up to adulthood. So now we are young adults and we have now left the home in order to go to, I think it's a boarding school in the capital city of this empire. So that's why it's like a huge change, because we spent all our lives, you know, in our home city where we were born with our parents and all of that stuff. And now we're going into the city where we have no one really to lean on except for our best friend, Thomas. I'm watching from work, so obviously my participation might be limited. It's not good enough, JP. That's not good enough, JP. I'm joking. Hopefully work goes well for you. So the driver flicks the reins. The carriage slowly sways as it starts moving away from your home. You stick your head out the window and wave goodbye to your family. Nathan is running after the carriage with Thomas's younger brother in tow, tears glistening in their eyes. It hurts to leave your home behind. Ahead lies Eterna, the imperial capital. You have often read about it and heard stories from Father and Stefan. It is a city that surpasses Anazot enormously in terms of size, age, wealth, and beauty. But what is it really like? What kind of life awaits you there? What will you learn there? And where will your actions take you? You pass the old walls of Anazot. Somewhere within them is the old fortress you and Thomas built together out of old wooden planks. Boys will be boys. And now left to the care of your younger brothers. You too are adults now. Perhaps your fortress will crumble now abandoned, or perhaps your brothers will continue what you started. Who knows? You look down at your hands, knuckles covered in scars from street antics, fingers stained with ink, because you are a studious boy. Mother gave you a cross to wear away from home, and now you can feel its warmth against your chest. Your family counts on you, even though they all wish a different future for you. But they are behind you now, in Anazot, so they're back home, and we are going out for ourselves in life from this point on. Only you will decide which road you take. I kind of like this, right? I kind of like this because it's the constant conflict, because the crux of this setting, like the core message of this setting that the game tries to imprint on you from day one, is that You have your lot in life. It's a deterministic world. Your fate is determined for you, you know, at birth. And so the game is like, you know, it's like the constant back and forth where you struggle against that setting and try and carve out a life for yourself, you know, determined by yourself. So from this point on, only you will decide which road you take. This is the journey you're prepared for throughout your entire childhood. Ahead of you lie many years in the capital, years that will determine your fate and your place in society. Alright, so there we go. Path of the Lotless. Okay, so these are like the major paths that we can undertake. And we want to do our father proud because Tooru is, you know, Tooru is a family guy. So I think that we want to aim to get to the path of the nobleman. Like your grandfather and father before you, you enroll in the Imperial College, hoping to become a judge and a nobleman of the mantle. Of course, though, we can die a lot and then just die, you know? Another thing about this game is that you can die several times, right? You can die 4 times. So you can have 3 lesser deaths and then the last death, which is a true death. And we've actually already died twice in this game. We've made some very questionable decisions that did not turn out well for us. And I guess these are like all the important events that could happen in this chapter in life. And these are our personal qualities. These are our personal qualities going into the chapter. Looks like we're pretty good at diplomacy. We're not too good at theology. And well, Tooru is a very straightforward person, you know? He's a very straightforward guy. So he's not prone to manipulating others. We do have valor. Like, you know, we can fight. We're not a good fighter, but we can fight. We're not very eloquent though. Tooru's I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Neither does Tooru. And we are not schemers, right? We are not schemers. We do not plot from the background. We confront our problems head on. All right, let's continue. Let's get into it. All right, 11:34. It takes a whole month. Oh, wow, that's a long trip. It takes a whole month to reach Turner. You and Thomas spend the days wagging your chins and staring at the scenery as your carriage makes its way along the road and towards the next province. Soon, it crosses from the familiar, barren, arid lands of Magra to the stately mountains of Illyria. During one of your many stays at a roadside inn, the two of you even manage to share a whole bottle of strong wine and keep it a secret from the servant who drives the carriage. Wow, they must have polished that wine bottle off pretty fast if they were able to do it without the servant noticing, because like the servant's like the guy driving the carriage. So like he would keep an eye on the lads every time, you know, you'd go to the inn. So that's actually pretty impressive. Adult life. Is that a pun? Adult life feels positively intoxicating. Yes. Positively intoxicating. Get it? Because we drank alcohol. Soon, I tell you, soon we'll be there. And I'll earn my sword as soon as I get accepted into the military academy. You'll see. And then nobody's gonna walk all over me like I'm some commoner. You keep rehearsing everything they taught you in school. Soon, you're almost at the end of your long journey. You have left behind the arid rocks of Magra, the mountains of Illyria, the flooded meadows of Arknea. Eterna, the capital, is right ahead. Oh, that's loud. Situated at the junction between the Reglada and Talrina rivers, the city is vast. Three majestic stone bridges keep its 3 shores interconnected. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So it's like the rivers run through the city. And so like there are a few cases of that, you know, like the rivers running through the city. But the way that the game is describing it, it's like, because it's like a walled city, right? And then so the rivers run through it, so it actually divides the city, you know, like in neat little sections. And I don't like, there are a lot of cities where rivers run through them, but not necessarily, like, I don't think that there are a lot of cities where rivers run through them and it's built together in a way where they act as a divide, but then it's like, it's still one city, you know? You'd think it would be like two different cities or that sort of thing. Like, I don't know. When I read this, I'm thinking of like, what's that city? Maybe someone with a better geographical knowledge can tell me. But like, I'm thinking of like Budapest, you know? Like, because like, Buda and Pest, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that they were separate settlements, and then as it all grew, like, then it molded itself into one settlement, and then there's like the river that separates the two, but now it's like it's one city. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that I don't know if that's relevant to this particular city, to Eterna, but it would be pretty cool if the history of Eterna was that, you know, they were separate settlements divided by the rivers. Maybe there's like 2 settlements or 3 settlements even. And then as like the population grew and it got amalgamated into the one political structure, then it became one city. That would be cool. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever find out, but that would be cool. You know, your carriage smooth stone paves the main city streets. Gilded moldings decorate the buildings. Towering pillars reach high into the sky. Your carriage takes you past a spacious park with marble fountains and intricately trimmed bushes. Oh, wow. On the streets, you see ornately decorated carriages bearing Archnean coat of arms and abundant merchants' tents, filling the streets with beckoning cries and unusual sights. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, no. Because, like, where I am right now, you don't have, like, this idea of, like, the traveling merchant, or, like, I don't know. It's not that common in a lot of Western countries to have, like, merchants and stores. Like, maybe if you're, like, in the open market or something like that, you know, but that kind of thing isn't that common, especially right now with like everything going on in the world with the pandemic and all of that. It's not that common, but it still is pretty common having like the street merchants, and especially like the street food specifically. Like that's very common in like a lot of other countries, like non-Western ones, I guess you could say. It's funny. It's funny because like, I'm reading this, like, abundant merchants filling the streets with beckoning cries and unusual sights. And then the first thing I thought of... Oh, how do I say this? The first thing I thought of was, like a street merchant, I guess? Or, like, street food vendor. Yeah, there we go. A street food vendor back where... you know, back where Tooru's turtle colony came from, you know? And then they had some very interesting things to sell. And then it would be like at 2 a.m. in the morning. So Tooru, right, would be sleeping, you know, with his family and all of that, and we'd all be, you know, in the den and in the nest or whatever. And then we would just have this, you could hear it, like it wakes us up in the middle of the night. It's like 2 a.m., right? It's like 2 a.m. And then you I shouldn't say this, but like you just hear it. It pierces the night. You know, it pierces the night, and then you just hear balut. Oh my god. I remember, yeah, I was sleeping, and then like I just instantly woke up. And then there was like this, like I looked out the window and there was like this street peddler. They were just selling it. They just kept going, you know. And it's like, who's gonna buy this at 2 a.m. in the morning? But apparently people do. Otherwise you wouldn't do it, right? Otherwise you wouldn't do it if people wouldn't, you know, if you got no business, you wouldn't do it at 2 a.m. in the morning. But you know, apparently people are hungry, man. People are hungry. I guess. Oh yeah, maybe. I guess it's like equivalent to I guess it's equivalent to like the 1 a.m. kebab, right? Or like the midnight Macca's run, right? Like if you're out and you're having a good time with the boys, right? But and that hasn't happened here in a long, long time. I can tell you that much, just due to the pandemic. But like, if you're out with the boys late at night, you know, you want some like greasy or like some dirty food just to help the alcohol go down, you know. And so you have like the 1 a.m. kebab run, the midnight Macca's run. So I guess it would be the equivalent of that, right? I guess it would be the equivalent of that. I never even thought about it until I vocalized it myself. So like this whole time I'm thinking that's the weirdest thing. But now that I actually think about it, it makes a lot more sense. So it's good that I'm able to vocalize it. The carriage comes to a halt on a large city square with a towering marble fountain. The coachman says, "You have arrived." Thomas is to apply to the military academy. The academy barracks are 2 streets away. Your lodging house is in the alleyway nearby. A room has already been reserved for you. Get out onto the street and say brief goodbyes to each other. You promise to meet again after the entrance exams. Then your friend disappears into the crowded streets of the capital. I'm really, really concerned. I'm really, really concerned that we are no longer going to be friends with Thomas at some point. Because Thomas has been such a bro. And I do not want to get into conflict with him, you know? But I bet this game is going to be a little shit. And they were going to force us to fight each other or something. You're left to your own devices in this vast city. A group of nobles walk past. They are dressed in well-fitting clothing, decorated with gems and golden thread. You are not even noticed. Street urchins chase a dog down in the alleyway. Soldiers of the Imperial Legion are marching to fifes and drums towards the barracks. Humble pilgrims are gathering to the great temple of the twins. There are the sounds of music and fountains and the smells of baked bread and garbage drains. It's going from one peak, you know, it's going from one extreme to the other, right? You know, you have baked bread and then garbage drains. But you know, personally, you know, personally, like the smell of bread is pretty nice. Like you have like freshly made bread, you know, and like that sort of thing. So, this was a number of years ago. So you see, Tooru, being the turtle that I am, I have lived for quite a while, actually. But yeah, quite a while ago. This was a number of years ago when I was in a different stage of my life. I would actually go every morning to a local bakery, and that's just because of like the time that I worked and everything, where going in and like it would be really nice because I'd go in to the bakery at like 7 a.m. or something along those lines, and you can smell the fresh bread, you know, like they've already finished making it because, you know, the bakers are up there at like 5 a.m., you know, getting their stuff done. But like you can still see like they're making like additional runs, or, you know, the bread is still very fresh in the morning. So one thing I would like to do was go in and then you have like a nice chocolate croissant, and then you have a coffee, and that would be breakfast. And I would just sit there because there was like seats inside this bakery. There's like a little place to eat if you wanted to. Most people didn't, but I like to stay there for like 15-20 minutes and just like enjoy my time and soak it in, you know? So I would actually get there, like I would do this early, right? And then soak it in, and then, you know, I'd go off and, you know, to the rest of my day. But, you know, like when the game is like, oh, the sound, the smells of baked bread, like that sort of takes me back, because, you know, a lot of people, like, generally speaking, are focused on like big goals, big enjoyment, that sort of thing. But it's also sometimes just the small things in life that can really, really be, you know, that sort of make the moment, and, you know, just fill you with a sense of contentment. And that's especially important because of today. Again, it's not everywhere, but where I am currently right now is there's something called Are You Okay Day. And what that is is that's like a mental health kind of day. And so it's basically encouraging people to talk to each other about mental health and about depression and about those sorts of things. And so I just sort of got to that train of thought thinking that, you know, like there's a lot of things in life that can get people down, but sometimes it's the small things that can fill us with a sense of contentment and help us keep going every day. And so definitely for me during that part of my life, there were a few things that I wasn't particularly happy about. But going every morning to the bakery, smelling that fresh bread and having, you know, the chocolate croissant and like the coffee, it really centered me. It really centered me. And I recommend, I don't necessarily recommend that everybody like overload themselves in caffeine first thing in the morning. That's probably not the right thing to do. But I do recommend that everybody watching, if you guys are listening, if you have some sort of routine, if you have some sort of routine that you can do in the morning that helps calm you down, that helps center you, and that helps you sort of get your bearings and, you know, builds up your energy for the rest of the day, I really recommend it. I really recommend it because, you know, again, there's a lot of things in life that make people unhappy, that get people down. And so it's really, really important to look after yourself. And sometimes, you know, looking after yourself boils down to, you know, smelling some fresh bread in the morning, having a nice breakfast and that sort of thing. You know, you build up habits, you know, you build yourself up to enjoy the small things, because it's by enjoying the small things that you get the willpower to get through the day. At least that's how I feel about it. You know, like life is not going to be perfect. You're always going to be going towards the next thing. But if you can do something that's simple, that's small, that centers you, and that gives you focus and, you know, positive emotion, then that's definitely worth pursuing. So I highly recommend that everybody have like a routine or something that they do when they wake up, you know, just to get them in the mood, right? So yeah. Yeah, and so yeah, smells of baked bread. I love fresh baked goods. Imagine not being able to eat bread. Oh no, I couldn't imagine that. You know, like, could you imagine not being able to eat bread, JP? I don't know. Like, just thinking about like not being able to eat bread like that makes my tummy hurt. You know. You quickly check in at the lodging house, then go back outside. The sun is setting. The streetlights come to life. Merry music fills the taverns. Couples and noble coaches with tinted windows. Wow. Tinted windows fill the streets. Shadows and hushed voices and laughter fill the parks. You are all alone with this city, so vast and unfamiliar. You take a look around, determined to fill your first night in the capital with memories. You see... I know what that's supposed to be, but it sounds like someone's taking a leak. Sounds like someone's taking a leak. I would still eat it and accept allergies. Yeah, you know what, JP? Then that would make your tummy hurt. You know, that's not really something that you necessarily want. I wish there was a bakery that bakes stuff throughout the day. I think there's some that do. Kenjo. I like the bakeries that I'm familiar with always do the morning runs. But I do feel like if stuff sells out in the morning, then there are some bakeries that do like a supplemental run, like at 11 a.m. or something along those lines to catch people coming in for lunch. So yeah, it depends. I've not seen a bakery do that, and I don't know how commonplace it is, but I do feel like that there are bakeries that do that. I just haven't been to any personally. It's unfortunate because, for example, if you're a bit of a night owl or if you wake up late, then you're not going to be able to catch the bread when it's the freshest. And I have to say, again, like fresh bread, freshly baked bread, that's something. You know, simple things. They seem to be waiting. Oh, hold on. You see young nobles gathered by the fountain, talking and making jokes excitedly. One of them keeps glancing at the clock tower. They are about your age. Their clothes are hand-tailored, and two of them bear noble swords. They seem to be waiting for something. It might be a good idea to make their acquaintance. It would be most helpful to develop a familiarity with the influential nobles of the capital. Oh wow, that is... Game says loud music, and it's like, wow, that was loud. It wasn't musical, but it was loud. Loud music from a large establishment on the corner distracts you for a moment. The servants have just opened the shutters to air out the hall. It seems there will be a gathering inside. People from various estates greet each other as they take their seats. A servant by the door of the establishment hails you. Sir Gert Arkwright will be making a speech about the rights of the common estate. If you wish to listen, you'd better get inside. Quickly. Ah, okay, so this game is like presenting us a choice. Where do we go? Do we talk with the nobles? Do we listen to the commonest speech? Or do we go to the Great Temple? Ah, thank you for following, Kimmy Spice. Thank you for following. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. How are you doing? How are you doing? Kendra says, there's only one I know of, and it's an hour and a bit away from me. Ah, that's unfortunate, man. That's really unfortunate, because it's like... you don't want to drive for 3 hours, you know, just to get some bread, you know? That's unfortunate. Doing well, thank you. Good to hear. Good to hear. Hopefully you're having a lovely day or evening, wherever you are right now, and that, you know, you've got nice plans to just have a, you know, cozy time. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Then you look at the great Temple of the Twins at the far end of the street. The pillar shines in the evening dusk above it. The temple gates are open and worshippers are flocking inside. There are too many people for an ordinary service. This must be something important. What do they preach here in the capital? What do they say of the new faith and the teachings of Patriarch Fotis? You snap out of your reverie when you hear loud laughter. A group of young men dressed in the colors of the Imperial College have made the acquaintance of several lovely girls. They are making their way down the road united by merriment. One of the girls smiles at you. It is an invitation to join them. They turn the corner and walk away, but you can still hear their voices ringing and echoing through the street. A night of revelry and jolly. Loud fun doesn't sound half bad. There's nothing like the smell and taste of fresh baked bread. It is quite nice, quite nice. It's a good pick me up. It's actually a really good pick me up. I don't know about like, I don't know if there's like a chemical aspect involved. I don't know if it's like a health element involved. I don't know if it's legit. But for me personally, you know, when you have like a nice, like, you know, for me, okay, so like the kind of bread that I like to eat, you know, you just have like loaves of bread, but if we're talking about a bread for breakfast, then I would either like to have like slices of Vienna bread. Vienna bread is quite nice, or a croissant. I really enjoy those two types of bread. And a lot of that just comes down to like, you know, the amount of time that I've, you know, had those kinds of breads in the morning. But yeah, Vienna, you know, croissants, ooh, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. This is your first night in Eterna. No matter what you choose, you will remember it for a time to come. Okay, so... okay, so the game is pretty much saying we can work on our nobility, we can listen to the plight of the commoners, we can visit the Temple of the Twins, so level up our religion, or we can run after the students. And so... if we've watched previous streams, we've actually established, right? We've actually established that Tooru is a little, he's a little impulsive, and he's a little weak to the female persuasion. Basically, Tooru is a massive simp, and you know, I can relate. You know, I can relate to Tooru, Brant. Because even if I'm a VTuber, that also means that I'm a VTuber fan, you know. So I can definitely relate to being a simp. So we're gonna run after the students. The other reason, the metagaming reason that I'm gonna justify this is because actually no, we don't need to. We don't need to, but we still will. We still will. We'll run after the students and build up willpower. We'll build up some willpower. Yes, I would eat Vienna too. Ah, that's nice. Whoa, that's loud. The noises are loud. Viewers become VTubers. Many such cases. Yes, very much so, Kimmy Spice. Very many such cases. The students' merriment is infectious. You join the group. They are almost your age, maybe 1 or 2 years older. You see so many faces, and soon you're in a tavern somewhere in the city, getting to know so many people at a massive table. That's not like me at all, though. No. So many people you do not even bother to remember their name. Okay, maybe that's me. Going out and socializing in the city with strangers, that's not me. But me meeting people and not bothering to remember their names, okay, I can jive with that. No, that's a terrible thing to say. That's a terrible thing to say. And the wine, it flows like water. Oh, wow. Tooru's getting hammered. A lively tune is playing in the tavern. A girl just a little bit older than you pulls you off your seat to dance. Her dress is unbuttoned. A little bit more than it's supposed to be. Oh, no. Oh, no. She smells of wine and honey. Oh, she's, well, if she's smelling of honey, she's definitely, a little sweet on old Tooru. Now, isn't she? You copy her motions in the dance as your hand clasps her waist. It slides lower of its own accord. She pulls away suddenly and stares into your eyes and then kisses you on the lips. You are startled at first, but soon you respond to the kiss as you pull her soft, supple body even closer to you. Oh god, that's me in 2 weeks? Wait, what's happening in 2 weeks, Kenjo? What's happening in 2... Oh, yes. I think I know what you're talking about. JP, oh no. You spend all night dancing? Dancing, Tooru? I don't know about that. I mean, I guess... No, I guess that's right, you know? Because when you dance, you have to leave room for the twins, you know? Wait, that sounds even worse. I wanted to make like a dancing but making room for Jesus joke. But then like the deities of this game are called the twins. They're the twin gods. But when you say leaving room for the twins, that makes it sound like something else. That makes it sound like something else. I didn't mean it like that. You spend all night dancing, only returning to the table to catch your breath and quench your thirst. Yes, I think we've established that Tooru is a very thirsty lad. The girl keeps embracing you and laughing and pouring even more wine into your glasses. You feel at ease. You feel carefree. You feel happy. You do not remember returning to the lodging house. Your head and legs are aching in the morning. You can barely remember the names of last night's companions. After some consideration, you choose to remain in bed for the rest of the new day. Now now this is power. We're full of power, guys. Full of willpower. But that's good though, because that actually makes it easier for us to undertake difficult actions in the future. You have arrived in Eterna, the ancient capital of the blessed Archnean Empire. Alright. Game sounds are so loud, I really should put them down. You have spent the last 3 days studying books, but today you decide to take a walk through the streets of Eterna. They are full of life as usual. You proceed to the square next to the lodging house. A procession of priests walks through the square. You notice that one of them holds a banner of the new faith, an open book. This is the same banner that was behind Patriarch Fotis on the day of his assassination. Okay, I'll need to AFK. We'll leave stream open, but might not make it back in time. No worries, JP. Just take care of yourself, because you said earlier that you were at work. So take care of yourself, and I hope to see you later when you get back. A crowd immediately gathers around them. Many people are looking at an icon painting, on a small pedestal depicting a grey-haired man with glowing green eyes. You recognize that face, the face of the late Patriarch Fotis. Wait, did Fotis have green eyes? That's nutty. That's nutty. A man with a thick beard appears by the icon painting. His broad shoulders bear a white and gold cloak with the coat of arms of the capital province embroidered on it. He is Luke, Patriarch of Arknea. It's work time for most people in burger hours, though you have a good voice for getting ready to. No worries. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Kimmy. Thank you for saying that, Kimmy Spice. I appreciate it. And thank you for stopping by. If you need to head off, thank you for stopping by for the stream. And, I hope to see you around again sometime, Thank you for coming and thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Here's Luke, Patriarch of Arknea. He casts his stern gaze over the crowd. I speak to all who live within the sight of the shining pillar. Exactly 1 year ago, we lost Fotis, Patriarch of the Magra province, mentor of the new faith. Fotis love. Oh no. Patriarch Fotis was the first to see the books of Azatius for nothing but the words of a man, not the words of the twins themselves. He was the first to tell people to seek the path to the gods in their own hearts instead of blindly following the lots. To seek answers in the lives of the twins and their own hearts rather than the words of priests. Wait a second. If this guy's the patriarch, should he be saying this? Cause patriarch, is like father, right? That's like the father figure. And the equivalent in the real world would be the Orthodox Church, right? So like Greek Orthodoxy, and the head of that would be like the patriarchs, right? Like it's like the Patriarch of Constantinople or something like that, which is modern day Istanbul. But Constantinople was the capital of the Roman Empire, and then later the Byzantine Empire, which is like the Greek culture continuation of the Eastern Roman Empire. And it was Constantinople. It was called Constantinople for like how long? Like a millennium. That's the word I was looking for. And so that's why they still have the nomenclature, even though it's been Istanbul for hundreds of years by this point. So yeah. So if we're making the equivalent, right? Okay. So yeah, if we're making the equivalent here, the Patriarch Luke would be like. He would be like a bishop or a cardinal, I guess, right? So that's kind of nutty. That's kind of nutty that in the capital city, we have one of the highest figures of the religion, but basically espousing a new version of the religion. Through Patriarch Fotis, we were able to see the truth. They hated Fotis because he told them the truth. Through his death, we saw that his words are not heresy. They are the truth that used to be obscured by Azatius's lies. And now, I bring good news. Patriarch Junius Diamant has seen to it that our teacher will be canonized as a saint. Yes, Junius Diamant, an Arknean from a great dynasty and Patriarch of Astinia, has joined the new faith himself. And through this, we hope the entire empire will soon see that our doctrine is the truth. We are free from the shackles of the lots. We are equal before the twins. With each day, more and more people hearken to the truth, and one day the entire empire will hear our call. So, let us pray, my brothers. The believers around you bow their heads in prayer and thank the twins, not for the lot that they were given, as they usually would, but for the chance to choose their own path. The Patriarch's sermon is inspiring. It compels you it compels your hands to meet in a sign of prayer. Wait, do I have that? I don't think I do. I was hoping that I had like the I hope that I had like the prayer emoji in my OBS, but I don't think I do. Maybe I'll get it for next time. It compels your hands to meet in a sign of prayer. It compels your lips to repeat the words of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermon forms a cadence, and your heart beats in time with it now. Yay, bedtime story. Suffrage. How you going, Roke? How are you today? How are you today, my friend? Yes, we are playing, we are suffering with Tooru Brante today. You recall the murder of Patriarch Fotis a year ago. It seems more patriarchs share his doctrine now. The news of Junius Diamant joining the new faith is stunning. If an Archnean from a great dynasty has sided with Photis's doctrine and has agreed to see everyone as equals under the twins, the new faith must truly be putting down roots. But suddenly, several figures appear by the podium. Figures clad in black with glinting silver on their sides. Inquisitors! They push through the crowd and form a circle around Patriarch Luke. One of these priests rises before the crowd. He is clean-shaven, tall, with chiseled features. Everyone falls silent at the sight of him. The Inquisitor speaks with a booming voice that can be heard by all. Whoa, that's nasty. I am Father Ulrich. In the name of the twins and by my rights as an Inquisitor, I order you to turn around and leave. The words you're hearing are full of lies. Patriarch Luke has set out to poison your hearts and minds, and the Inquisition will not allow this heresy to spread. The only true path in this life is the will of the twins. Life offers us no other choice. You are hereby ordered to disperse at once. Most people leave the square immediately. Few want to get involved with the Inquisitors. Some stay, however, and some even shout angrily, "We want to listen to Luke. He is the Patriarch of Archnia, and he has more to say. Get away from our servant, old believers. We will not listen to you and your hoary old lies about the lots." I'm pretty sure that hoary is not the kind of hoary that you would expect. I believe it means something else. Inquisitors, bring those who may yet listen back to their lots and leave the others to the champions of faith. The black-clad Inquisitors descend from the podium and approach the people who chose to stay. With nothing but their words, they make people stop shouting and start listening. The uproar ceases quickly. They have dissected the crowd, split it into smaller groups that surround each Inquisitor. Wait, what? Split it into smaller... Oh, okay. That makes a little sense. Okay, one of these Inquisitors chooses to approach you. He is a humble-looking man of age, with a rough haircut. He looks you straight in the eye as his lively, soulful voice forces you to listen to his words despite yourself. "My name is Father Jeremiah. I know your thoughts were stirred by the Patriarch's words. You are not sure whom to trust, but I teach at the seminary. I have been studying the teachings of the twins my entire life. You can trust me. I know you can hear what I have to say. I see their light in your eyes, the light of the true faith. Will you listen to my counsel, my son?" You feel no malice in the words of the Inquisitor Jeremiah, only hope. It is his lot to aid you, to guide you away from error, and set you on the path of the true faith. He is a priest, so he should know the truth. Or perhaps the Inquisitor himself is in the wrong. Alright, let's take a look at what our options are. So our options here is just listen to his counsel. We can try and debate him, or we can resist him. I think that we should try and resist him, because it's like, listening to his counsel, like, Tooru doesn't seem like a guy who would necessarily listen, to a priest mouthing off about their religion. At the same time, Tooru is also not someone who would bother, with talking things over and trying to debate someone. Like, Tooru doesn't know a lot about religion. He's not going to pretend that he is a learned scholar himself. So, Tooru being Tooru is just going to tell him to piss off. So we're going to resist him. You refuse to be ordered around by him. It is not the clergy's place to give orders. You strike a pose of authority and eye Father Jeremiah sharply. Inquisitors can't order people around, you say. It is not within the lot of the clergy. Only nobles can give you orders. The other commoners look at you in terror. You've defied an Inquisitor. However, Father Jeremiah still looks at you without any of the anger you had expected. My son, your words do indeed contain a germ of truth. A germ of truth. Germ. Wow. I was thinking it was gem, but germ. I am an Inquisitor of the clergy, and by the will of the twins, I cannot give you orders. But know this, the Inquisition does not imprison everyone suspected of heresy. We exist to protect souls, to guide and to save them. We pursue dangerous doctrines and seek to rescue every soul we meet. Arrest or execution is our last resort, reserved only for sinners beyond redemption. You can see that I am merely speaking to you right now. I have not resorted to force, nor am I giving you any orders. But if the need arises, I will summon the champions of faith, nobles who will be there to give orders and punish those who defy the church. But as long as you are not calling for the overthrow of faith, you are safe from them. And, as you said, it is not within my lot to give you orders. You are free to go, but expect no mercy in the hereafter, for after we die, there will be none. With a bitter smile, the Inquisitor leaves you and proceeds further. You leave the square freely, your dignity preserved. The remaining people in the square continue arguing with the other Inquisitors. Armed champions of faith stand nearby, but they do not intervene. Luke and his retinue can no longer be seen. Only one thing keeps nagging at you. Father Jeremiah's words about how there will be no mercy in the hereafter. So like, the threat. Oh, it's not even a threat. Like, just the implication, you know, that you will suffer all eternity. You will suffer for all eternity is a pretty powerful emotion. And that is something that stays with a lot of people. It doesn't necessarily form like my motivations and how I look at things, but I do know that there are a lot of people out there who are scared about the idea that, you know, like what is in store for them after they die, you know? And so people become desperate, or, you know, they want to like leave a legacy, or it warps how they view other people and that sort of thing. You know, it does, like I said, it doesn't really affect me personally, but it is a powerful emotion. So I can understand why the game would try and impress that on Tooru, especially in a game like this where we suffer many lesser deaths and actually interact with the gods of this setting in some way. You know, like we can actually, like whenever we die, we meet the twin gods, right? And we could sort of get an idea of how, you know, they see us and all of that sort of thing. So definitely compared to like the real world, words like this would nag at Tooru because he has seen a lesser death and he does know that there is something beyond the mortal plane. So it's like, you know, it just reinforces, you know, the strength of that. All right. Oh, okay. Whew. Patriarch Luke's sermons have converted many commoners and nobles to the mantle of the new faith. There are now several temples in Eterna that follow the new canons with Luke's blessing. This has led to no small amount of anger among the followers of the old faith. 2 mighty bishops of the church lead the new faith. One of them is Luke, the patriarch of Archnia himself, spiritual mentor of the capital province. He preaches all across Archnia, his every sermon adding to the new faith's flock. The other leader of the new faith is Patriarch Junius Diamant. Hailing from a great Archnian dynasty, he is the de facto ruler of the Astinia province. Adored by his subjects, he has founded the Holy Order anew. Junius Diamant rarely preaches, but people believe the Astinian Patriarch attends to the needs of all who convert to the new faith. This schism within the church is growing. The split has furthered the divide between the commoners and the nobles, though thankfully there has been no direct conflict as of yet. But it has become clear that there is no way to stop the steady advance of the new faith. Born from the death of Patriarch Fotis, it grows stronger by the day. Oh, schism. Discontent. So order goes down. There's a bit of a schism between parts of the church. The Great Schism. The next few weeks pass by in hard work and preparation for the coming entrance exam at the Imperial College. You grow more and more exhausted with every passing day. So much so that one night you fall asleep while studying another book. Oh, jeez. That's a real grind. That is a real grind. Like for me personally, I don't know, it's weird because when I was studying, when I was a student, like I like to think that I was an okay student, right? But now that I've graduated from all of that, and now that I'm no longer a student, I legitimately cannot imagine myself ever being studious again. You know what I mean? It's like, once you complete your education, the idea of going back, you know, and then hitting the books is just something I don't think I'm capable of doing anymore. You know? Can't teach an old turtle new tricks. And that's part of why... It's part of why I have a lot of respect for people who are able to do it. So for people who have gone out into the workforce, who have assumed certain life responsibilities, and yet have the willpower and the capacity to go back to do further education, to do like a postgraduate degree or a master's degree, or, you know, even a doctorate, even a PhD, like they, you know, I have a lot of respect for those people, because I imagine just based on how I feel about it, I imagine it must take a lot of willpower to actually submit yourself to the process of studying again, you know? I couldn't do it personally. When you finally come to, you decide it is high time to get some recreation outside. The city of Eterna amazes you as you stroll through its splendid streets. It is another night, a different night, yet the city is beautiful still. The shining pillars are a slice of light against the dark night sky. The lamps on the facades of the buildings are lit. It's lit, fam. Night descends on the capital. You don't feel like going back to the books tonight. Recently, you've made the acquaintance of several young men. They're children of nobles of the mantle just like you, sent to the capital to earn their noble titles at the college. Just like me, nice. They're just like me. You decide to seek them out. Your new friends are having a late dinner on the next street over, loudly discussing their plans for the night. Some speak eagerly of a dueling club where you can see the most skilled and ardent duelers in the Empire doing what they do best. Ah, gladiatorial fights, let's go! You've never seen professional duelers fight. It must be far more exciting than father's fencing lessons or that fight in the ruins of Anazot. And, if luck favors you, perhaps you can even make useful contacts among the noble families in the capital. The others try to convince the rest to take a trip to a certain secret salon. The establishment is expecting a guest tonight, they say, a young lady who speaks about the true state of affairs in the Empire. There are many questions about the nature of this place and the identity of this mysterious speaker, but the young men only have one answer. They are forbidden to speak about this outside the club. However, they can take you there as long as you aren't afraid to learn a dangerous truth. I wonder if this young lady ends up being Gloria, or maybe Sophia or something, like someone that we know. Let's find out. There are others still drinking their fill of the wine rather than eating. Fencing, they say. Speeches. Nonsense. The place you ought to go tonight, they claim, is the Markian Society, a gathering for those of common estate but uncommon opinions that offers pleasures for everyone. Pleasures of the palate. Pleasures of drink. Pleasures of the flesh. Is this not heresy and a crime? Perhaps. And yet, some of your newfound friends are eager to go there. In the end, your group splits in three to spend the night as they see fit. What will it be? A contest featuring the best fencers in Eterna? An establishment both mysterious and dangerous? Or an encounter with people who defy their lot with audacity? You weigh your options. So, I don't want to go to the Markian Society because we've already chosen the Kuma option, you know? We've already chosen the Kuma option. And Tooru being the kind of person that Tooru is actually pretty violent. He does enjoy fights, so I think I'll go to the dueling club. Because if we remember back when Tooru was still at home and he was still growing up, he really wanted to wield his father's sword. Was it his father's sword or his grandfather's sword? He really wanted to wield the sword, and it actually led to some hijinks that didn't go so well for him. But he has always been interested in, military troops. He's always been interested in, knighthood. He's always been interested in the combat aspect of the nobility. So we're definitely going to the dueling club because that feels the most in character. You You march down the street towards the dueling club, which is located in a manor house decorated rather modestly on the outside, but lavishly on the inside. One of your newfound friends nods to the servants, and they let you in. The rooms are stuffy, noisy, and filled with tobacco smoke. The sitting room is enormous. In the center is an arena, a circle with wooden railings, 2 young nobles fighting there already. Ghoulish, welcome! Ghoulish, welcome. How are you today? Hopefully you're having a lovely day. I think it might be evening for you right now, so hopefully you're having a nice dinner around this time, some good munchies. So yeah, welcome Ghoulish. Welcome to Ghoulish. Hopefully you're doing well. You take a glass of wine from a servant and watch the fight from one of the many soft chairs. You cannot bear a sword yet, but nobody says you cannot watch. As soon as a dueler is wounded, the fight ends, but the way they fight still makes the audience gasp and scream in awe. When a dueler is too slow to dodge, the duel ends with a bright red cut line through his sweat-soaked white shirt. Oh, there you go. So, he gets cut. There we go. The thin fencing swords cut through the air so quickly, you only see glints of flashing steel like lightning in a storm. You do your best to remember all the feints and tricks you see tonight. They will surely come in handy when you earn your own sword. But then, a tall young Archnean enters the room. He barges in from behind you and leaps into the arena between the 2 fences, thus ending the duel. He bears a coat of arms with a griffin. This Archnean hails from the great dynasty of Orgriff. The Archnean's voice booms as he challenges everyone in the audience to a duel. He sneers smugly. If you consider yourself nobles, then how about you face an Archnean lord in honorable combat? No one moves. No one dares to step forth. A duel with an Archnean? Suicide. Especially if that Archnean hails from one of the great dynasties. Such a duel will end with a lesser death at best, or with a true death through trial and execution at the worst. Everyone knows the punishment for spilling blue blood, and so, everyone remains silent. The Archnean grins. So humans are cowards, he says. You will never be true nobles if you are never ready to risk a lesser death. Then Archnean honor and tradition is not for you, and war is not your domain either. For human nobles are but a mockery, a gathering of animals, dressed to resemble higher beings. Oh, this guy, who does he think he is? Like, I get it, you're an Archnean, but how dare you? How dare you? A man leaps into the arena. He is as tall as a tree. His pockmarked face is white with rage and covered in scars. There are whispers of reverence in the audience. This is Marth Ferasti, the owner of the club. He has accepted the challenge for the honor of all human nobles. He has yearned to fight an Archnean all his life, and now is his chance. The duelers salute each other, and Sir Ferasti begins the attack. A lunge, a jab, another, and then another. The young Archnean deflects each attack like he knows his opponent's every move. Sir Ferasti's eyes twitch with tension. The owner of the club lunges again, but the Archnean deflects his sword and rips the weapon out of the human's hands. Master Ferasti looks at the Archnean in confusion, then bows his head in recognition of his defeat. The young Orgriff youth flashes a proud, superior grin. His fencing sword lifts the sleeve of his defeated opponent. It bears 3 black marks of lesser death. Now the young Archnean eyes Sir Ferasti with a mockery of sadness and compassion. Why, it appears the poor overeager ex-commoner is on his last life. Ferasti shudders. He asks the Orgriff youth to be as so kind to spare his life, nobleman to nobleman. The Archnean's face grows dark and grim. His sword stabs deep into Ferasti's chest. Then the Orgriff youth speaks, loud enough for everyone to hear. He is the only noble in this hall, he says, and everyone who saw this must forget the dueling club ever existed and leave this place, never to return. The nobles scowl, dress reluctantly, and leave with quiet resentment. No one dares to defy the Archnean openly. The noble gathering disperses outside. You return to your lodging house, lost in thought. Archnians stand far above humans. They do not care if you're a commoner or a high-ranking noble. In their eyes, you are only a human. It seems there is nothing that can readily oppose Archnian power. They are the masters of the world, and humans are pale reflections of them at best. It's kind of amazing though, because like we've only gotten a little bit of a hint of like how Archnians are, right? But we actually haven't seen them. We haven't seen them fight from memory, right? We've seen their disregard for humans, but we haven't seen them fight, and so it's like the nobility. Like, the way the society works in this game is like the nobility basically treat the common lot like trash. But at the end of the day, the human nobility, you know, like there's still another tier up. And so that's like Archnian society. So essentially, it feels like, you know, it's that sort of thing where no matter how good like you think you are, no matter how high up you think you are, there's always people above, you know, there's always people above. And so it's like, it doesn't matter if you're a human noble, you're still nothing in the face of an Archnian. That's rough though. That's very rough. Just because of how, you know, like how rigid the class system is in this society. The trip to the dueling club ended on a grim note, but you learned a lot from watching Eterna's best duelers in action. You recall their lunges and blocks before you sleep, rather than the master of the dueling club being murdered in cold blood. Alright, next year. Ooh. You are on your way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exams. Jeez, he's been here for an entire year, he hasn't even done his entry exams? It is right next to the college. The streets are full of people. Everybody's excited. You hesitate for a few seconds, then let your curiosity get the better of you, and head towards a place where you will study soon. Before long you hear the shouting. The Great Chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the Empire. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what is about to unfold. On the steps of the college, you see a small tribune guarded by two Archnians armed with swords. This is the first time you've ever seen an Archnian standing guard, let alone two of them. The door of the college opened to reveal a stately Archnian surrounded by an honor guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, Great Chancellor of the Empire, younger brother to the Emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people, in awe and utter silence. Long ago, humans witnessed the Archnians' arrival. The two nations built the empire side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magra was the final province to obtain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Archnian Empire. Yet, there was another great event long before that. 1,000 years ago, the twins graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twins granted us their will. They showed us their love and their law, and they granted us knowledge of what awaits us in the hereafter. They chose the dynasty of Tempest to rule the empire, and from that day forth, our dynasty has ruled this land, ordained by the gods themselves. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake, but rather to lead the empire to further prosperity. And so, the Great Imperial Council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all estates will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all Imperial citizens to obey. From human or Archnian, from the lowliest commoner to the Emperor himself. Oh wow! That's huge! Can you imagine? So basically, what they're saying is that they're gonna change how society is organized. You know, like the entire game so far, we've been living under this hugely classist society where your lot determines how you're treated and how you treat others. And so we're gonna go, this is like a cataclysmic change where, you know, they're gonna start implementing rights for all people, which is a good thing, It's actually the title of the stream. It's actually universal suffrage. But that is huge because there are a lot of people that are not used to this way, you know? The strife among the estates will end. A single law will resolve all our quarrels. Glory to the Empire. The Great Chancellor throws his arms into the air. The crowd murmurs and applauds in approval. Cornelius Tempest casts another look over the crowd and leaves. Enters. Cornelius Tempest enters, upends the societal order, doesn't elaborate, leaves. The crowd disperses. The sounds of agitated discussion are everywhere. Is it true the Emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all estates? What will happen to the Empire then? I believe this is a farce. Your life is suffering. Yes. Yes, it is, Rogue. I feel like this is going to cause some sort of civil war, and then there will be suffering in that, you know? Because, like, there's going to be, like, this is going to lead to a civil war. There's no way that everybody's just going to accept this peacefully, right? There's no way. I refuse to believe. It is early morning. You have been awake since sunrise, studying. Ooh, studious. There's a knock at the door. Is that a letter from home? A hotel servant? You open the door and freeze, stunned. Sophia. Hello, Brante. Before you stands Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She's all grown up now. She looks so different, but you would always recognize those blue eyes, no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sophia enters the room, glances around, and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl. She's just a girl I used to know, guys. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her. But the young woman you see now has little in common from the girl you used to know. There is cold steel in the way she looks at things. Her hair is cut short. But what is she doing here? I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time now. Ever since I ran from Anazot. I heard the other day that you'd left for the capital to get into the college. So I found you. And here I am. You ask how Sophia learned about your arrival and where you are staying, but she answers your questions with an enigmatic smile. Yeah, that was what I was thinking, right? It's like, how would she know that we're in the city? And even if she did, how would we know where we are staying? She's got to be like part of like some sort of underground resistance, or like some shady like information guild or something. I don't know. Maybe I read too much manga. Information guild, part of the thieves guild. We'll get to that later. Right now, I want to see how much you've changed since we last saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I'm a whole different person now. You look away as you recall your previous encounter, back when Sophia ran away from her Archnean master. Sophia chuckles as she continues. Would you like to know what happened next? I travelled through the entire empire all alone. I had nothing. My journey only ended when I reached this place, the capital, with all its important people and events. Oh god, she's changed. You can tell, like, you can even tell with the, well, I don't know if this is intentional, but like with the shading of the face, you know, it's like she's not only changed, like she's aged immensely, you know? Like her outlook on the world is a lot darker than it used to be. So yes, definitely she's gonna drag us into some bullshit. And so Roke's words are right. Our life is suffering, but at least I'm glad, you know, at least I'm glad you guys are here to suffer with me. It's the heart of the Empire. It's a place where I can make a difference. I've made friends here, found... It's like the complete opposite. Complete opposite of what I thought. Found people I can truly call my family. I bet you they're like terrorists or criminals or something. I do not believe anything wholesome in this game. I've even gotten an education of sorts, and I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight against those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that. I came to you for a good reason. I need help. I know you. I have... She found us out just to ask for a favor? Like... Lady... Sophia, like, come on. Come on. I mean, I have a lot of sympathy for your situation, but like, you sought us out just to ask a favor? Isn't that kind of... Is it... Like, come on, what am I to you, you know? Like, come on. I know you. You know, it's like, I was sitting here thinking, oh, she came to see us because she wanted to see us and see how we were doing so that we could meet up and, you know, talk and that sort of thing, you know, and catch up because, you know, we're friends. But then she's like, oh, I came to you because I need a favor. It's like, really? Well, come on. Oh my goodness. Yay, suffering sarcasm. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the name of the game, Ghoulish, but again, I'm glad you're here with me. I have faith in your good heart, and besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. Okay, if it involves the Imperial College, we'll see what she has to say. There is a scholar there by the name of Bartholomew Dexter. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dexter is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance science and acquire new knowledge. As you know, only second generation nobles or above are allowed to teach at the college. But Dexter, he is a commoner. He forged his patent of nobility to get a position at the college, but the secret chancellery recently learned of this. Dexter is about to face true death for this forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people, and for this they're going to take all his lives? They're going to punish him for the crime of being born in the wrong estate? It's evil and obscene, and I will not stand for it. Dexter deserves to be rescued, but I don't want to put anyone in danger, so I'm going to make you do it and put you in danger. But I need your help. You're from a rich family. You're almost a noble. If you can help me get Dexter out of the city, nobody will suspect anything. No one will know. And the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere, far away from the secret chancellery. Will you help me? You feel perplexed by Sophia's sudden request. She is asking you to break imperial law and undermine the work of the secret chancellery to save this scholar. Rescuing Dexter would be an adventure, but it would also be incredibly dangerous. And besides, Dexter is a fake noble. He resorted to lies and deceit to get his current position. How much does this matter to you? Sophia's blue eyes are studying you, waiting for your reply. You know what I want to do? I actually... Okay. No, okay, hold on. Because it's like, part of me wants to refuse. There is no way you're going to rescue some false noble. He's getting his just desserts. However, like, I'd want to refuse. However, it doesn't seem in line with what Tooru would do. To be honest, like, I actually don't feel, right? I actually don't feel like Tooru would go out of his way to help Sophia for this particular situation. But if you're hemmed into two options, help or refuse, then he would definitely help, because Tooru is someone who sees both sides of the noble and commoner equation. You know, because his mother is a commoner, but his father is a noble. So he sees firsthand, like, the distinct differences in treatment compared to if you're a noble, compared to if you're a commoner. And he really doesn't vibe with that, for lack of a better term. Maximum empathy, yeah. Maximum empathy. Like, he doesn't... Like, Tooru is not really... How do I put this? Tooru is not particularly interested in perpetuating the sort of class systems that fucked over his beloved mother and his sister. You know? It's like, Tooru wants to be a noble because he understands, right? Tooru understands that we live in a society, right? That we live in a society. So we got to do the best that we can within that framework. But that doesn't mean that we support the system itself, you know? So we're gonna help her. We're gonna help Sophia. You help her, you die. She'll drop you as soon as you've served your you're 100% right, Rogue. Like, Tooru would want to just, like, shush her away and pretend that nothing happens, you know? Pretend that nothing happened. He doesn't really want to get involved, but if the two options are refusing her specifically because of this, or, you know, helping her, then he would help. He would help. Maximum empathy. Exactly, Kimmy. Exactly, Kimmy Spice. So we'll help. We'll help. You promised to help Sophia. Bartholomew Dexter does not deserve this. He has to leave the capital. She can count on you. I knew I could count on you then. We must act at once. There's no time to waste. Dexter is going to be arrested tomorrow. Here's his address. Go there as soon as the sun sets. No one will suspect you. Dexter often tutors young men for the college entrance exams. Now, maybe we could get a lesson? Maybe Tooru could get a lesson? You know? Maybe get something out of this on the other side? Tell him the owl sent you. Use the back door to get out. A carriage will drive up to the backyard. Wait, why are we needed again? If they've all... Wait, if... How does this make sense? Does this make sense, guys? If they've already set up the carriage, and they've already set up the driver, and they already know where to go, then why are we needed, right? He'll take you to the south gate. If the guards stop the carriage, just talk your way out of it. Once you're outside the city, Dexter will ride away in a different carriage. You'll go back the way you came. I'll meet you in Majesty Square. You nod to her words and your hands start to shake. You're about to go against the secret chancellery. You know what, though? I wouldn't be surprised if Sophia just turns on us. You know, like she sells us out. You know? Like, the idea that she'll drop us as soon as we've served our purpose, as Rogue says, I 100% feel that that's going to be the case. But I also feel like there's a non-zero chance that she's actually working for the secret chancellery herself, you know? You're going to help someone escape punishment to defy your own lot like this. It's unthinkable. When the sun sets, you leave the lodging house and walk quietly, glancing over your shoulder repeatedly. Bartholomew Dexter's house must be somewhere around here. Knock, knock. You find the place. A genteel old man opens the door. His face is covered in wrinkles. His shoulders are stooped, yet his eyes are sharp and lively. Bartholomew Dexter looks at you for a moment, then asks, "Why have you paid him a visit?" You tell him you want to enroll in the college and are looking for a tutor. Dexter nods and invites you inside. Once you make sure that nobody else can hear you or see you, you whisper to the scholar about your real reason to visit. The secret chancellery will be coming for him tomorrow, and he has to leave now to escape the true death. Dexter freezes, then turns to you. How do you know about him and the secret chancellery? You tell him that the owl sent you and has provided for his escape. As for the secret chancellery, they want him for forging a patent of nobility. The moment you utter Sophia's name, the lecturer calms down and starts packing for the journey. So Sophia isn't just working for, like, you know, the Thieves Guild or what. It's like she is the head of, like, this underground organization. Oh no, we're putting our lots in with unsavory people. You watch him distractedly and notice that he lives in a rather austere fashion. It does not take him long to pack. I'm pretty sure that's a typo. You hear the quiet clacking of hooves in the yard. Carefully, you and Dexter proceed to the backyard of the building. You see a carriage there. The driver hoots quietly. You get in. The carriage rolls down the road. There is tense silence in the closed-off space inside the carriage. The scholar wrings his hands anxiously. Through the carriage windows, you see the massive city gate passing by. You're almost outside the city. But then, a loud voice reaches you. Halt! The driver obediently halts the carriage. Two city gendarmes, I think, approach you. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm not French. You leave the carriage to face the gendarmes before they can get a peek inside the carriage. They look you over and ask, "Where are you going so late at night?" You tell them that you are the son of the judge. You are the son of a judge in Magra, here to enroll in the college, and right now you wish to visit the estate of a newfound friend. To convince them further, you mention the name of a noble's son you have become friendly with. The gendarmes release the carriage and wish you a pleasant trip. Hey, okay. So that's why we were brought along. We were brought along to bullshit our way through. But you know what? This is going to bite us in the ass later because these guards are going to remember me and they're going to remember the name drop that Tooru put out in order to get his excuse going. And they're going to capture us, they're going to torture us, and we're fucked. We're fucked. Why? Because this game is just suffering. It's universal suffrage, but not the good kind. You drive along the high road until you encounter a peasant wagon. Dexter will take it to seek refuge far away from the capital. Before the two of you parts ways, he pats you on the shoulder and tells you you've done a truly brave deed. You return to the city without incident. You find Sophia in Majesty Square as agreed, sitting on a bench by a streetlight reading a book of some sort. She closes the book when she sees you and offers her hand. So, did everything go according to plan? You nod. Oh, okay. I guess my webcam doesn't agree. Tried to nod. Then we've earned ourselves a bit of free time. Let's go. No, I don't want to go anywhere with you, Sophia. You set off on a walk through the maze of narrow back streets. Finally, you have time for some questions. What happened to Sophia over the last 2 years? She was just a girl before, a servant. How is she now a revolutionary? Sophia just smiles sadly. You've seen what I can do. I'm not just a girl. The Inquisition caught up with me when I ran away from Anazot. I ended up in the House of Humility, a dreadful place. I got collared. Ugh. Do you know how it feels to lose your free will? Losing everything that makes you, you? She unclasps the tall shirt collar that she had been hiding, that had been hiding her neck all this time, and you see the round mark from the anti-magic collar. They say a scar like this will remain even after a lesser death. But I got lucky. Oh! So she's working for the Patriarch. But I got lucky. Patriarch Junius Diamant. So this is the Archnean Patriarch of Estinia. Diamant took me and the other mages from the House of Humility and removed our collars. He made me one of his attendants. He told me that there are no lots. He told me that I'm like this, not because I'm a freak, but because it's in my nature. He told me that I can find a path to the twins like anybody else in the world. And then I was taken. I mean, I got out. Wait, and then I was taken? Wait. I feel like I'm getting played for a sucker here. I got out on my own. I found my own lot to protect the common people from the noble yoke, to help others who are as unlucky as I am, to fight for a different world, a world where everybody has equal rights, a world where mages don't get robbed of their will just because of one aspect of their birth, a world where commoners no longer tread, where the nobles no longer tread upon the commoners. Yes, this is our dream, but we are still so far away from it. But I will keep moving towards it, and I will stop at nothing. A strange, distorted expression appears on Sophia's face, but she quickly returns to normal. You keep walking until you are at your lodging again. For a moment, you stand there just looking at each other. This is so suspicious. I feel like she's under some kind of mind control. Then, suddenly, Sophia embraces you. For a moment, she remains still in your arms and whispers, "Really? This girl? You should join my cause. If we work together, one day we'll become a force to be reckoned with. I know you came here to find your way, but I'll never believe you really want to bind yourself to other people's laws and desires for the rest of your life. The path I walk is dangerous. It's almost hopeless, but it's worth living for. Think about it. Goodbye." Then she withdraws just as quickly as and disappears in the dark streets of Eterna. You make your way back to your room, exhausted by the events of the day. Was this really just a single day in your life? Yeah, was it? Was this really just one day, guys? It feels like a lot happened. Ooh.
I will never forget that day.
Oh, here we go.
For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
Oh, okay. There are only a few days left until the Imperial College entrance exam. History, law, theology. You spend all day reading and rereading the books you brought with you, staying at the library for hours, sometimes until it closes. As the day of the exam approaches, your hands start shaking more and more. And finally, the day comes. A clear sky hangs over Eterna today. The breeze is warm. You dress in your best outfit, a grey jacket and velvet culotte trousers. I don't know if that's the pronunciation. Please forgive me if it's wrong. You comb your hair carefully and polish your boots until they shine. You leave the lodging house and head for the Imperial College. Your legs grow heavier with every step. Your anxiety at the fact your fate will be decided today is virtually tearing you apart. The college is a majestic building that looks not unlike a castle. In the square in front of it, you can already see several dozens of people, young men, sons of nobles of the mantle like you, waiting for the college doors to open. Time slows to a crawl. At last, the doors open. A stately man dressed in a professor's mantle appears at the entrance. He is the dean of the college. The students-to-be fall silent as the dean gets ready to deliver his welcoming speech. But silence is interrupted by heavy footsteps and clanking armor. A squadron of warriors emerge near the college, led by Archnean officers. Their banner bears an image of the Golden Grains. The noble militia of the Monia province? What are they doing here? The nobles of Monia form a circle around the college, each warrior moving quietly and precisely until a chain is formed. One of the Archneans is clad in an old-fashioned suit of armor. He is the leader of this militia. He locks the bar on the massive doors of the college into place, and then proceeds to the stairs to address the crowd loudly. Commoners, before you stands Aegirius of the Monrogue dynasty, Archduke of Monia. By my will, the college is hereby closed and today's entrance exam is cancelled. Your lowly origins make you unfit for the great honor of rendering service to the Empire. A right that ought to be available only to the hereditary nobles of the sword. The college's reputation has been tarnished. Whoa. Has been tarnished. It breeds mock nobles who bear not a trace of noble blood. You belong in the lowly estate, but have forgotten your place. Cornelius Tempest and other traitors to the Empire are indulging you and defacing the institution of the nobility for their lowly interests. Wait. Who does this guy think he is? Like, yes, he's the Archduke. He's the Archduke, but he does not outrank Cornelius Tempest, who is the brother of the Emperor. You know, I expect the Archneans want a civil war in order to reduce the human population. They'll institute the equality law, humans riot, the law is repealed because humanity clearly wasn't ready. I think you might actually have a point, Rock. Like, it could be just a ploy to trigger a civil war, which then leads to the justification for even more suppression. You may have a point. I like how we're getting immersed in the game world, you know, and we're just thinking of, you know, the most cynical, the most brutal, the worst possible outcomes, because, you know, clearly based on how things have been happening so far, probably turns out to be true. A noble lot for those of lowly birth. How can this be? I will not stand for this disintegration of the Imperial Order. Now turn away from the college this instant and return to the humble trades of your ancestors. Plow your fields, mend your boots, and work and suffer by your lot. If any of you dares to set foot upon these stairs, you'll be killed at once. The students-to-be made this speech with a stunned silence. The crowd in the square is growing, however. The news of the Monian noble militia and the college's closing spreads throughout the streets like wildfire. More humans join the crowd, college students, commoners, officials who worked hard to be ennobled. Unrest grows around you. You hear people calling to rush the Archduke Monroe's forces to take control of the college and defend your right to become noble. The Emperor himself gave us this right. We have to fight for it. This is a decisive moment for all of you. The old gentry has challenged you. Will you accept this challenge? In the face of this shameful, illegal act by the Archduke's forces, you may prove that all of you deserve the noble lot. You will need to break through the cordon, get inside the college, and take control of it. The nobles will never dare to hurt you if your presence is strong enough. If you are ready to risk it all and fight for your right to the nobility, you will have to lead the charge. People keep coming. The nobles wouldn't dare harm us if there's enough of us? No! The Archnians are gonna butcher us. People keep coming to the square in the meantime, including students and teachers from the Divine Seminary. The lot of the clergy is to guide others to the right path. When the estates clash, the priests are bound to intervene. The seminary teachers instruct their students to form a line between the noble militia and the outraged crowd. The priests begin telling the noble warriors and the riotous commoners to return to the preordained divine order, lest they provoke the wrath of the gods. The wrath of the gods. As the priests utter these words, the crowd around you disappears. A vision appears before your eyes. Oh. The Empire. Oh, holy shit. The Empire is ablaze. You see burning lands steeped with pain and despair everywhere you look. Rivers overflowing to extinguish the burning world. You can tell the soil has been scorched by such fire. It will never bear fruit again. The gods' given vision demand to be heard, demands to be prophesied to the whole world. But only a priest may speak to the twins and for the twins. Will you keep it inside, or will you step onto the path the twins have revealed to you? Somebody shoves you in the back, and you snap out of the vision. You turn around to see a small but decisive troop of commoners moving quickly through the crowd. They are led by Sophia. As soon as she sees you, she signals to them to stop. So, you're here too. Going to rush the college, are you? Can't you see it already? The laws cannot be trusted. They gave you the right to study here just to throw you a bone. When the going gets tough, your masters will take it all away. Wait, no, this is an Archduke. This is not necessarily the Empire. It is time for you to decide. We are the lotless, and we are not putting up with the system any longer. We will fight for a new world. Are you coming with us, or are you going to submit to them? Wait. Why are you pushing me into this? It's like revolution or, revolution or slavery. Like, I don't necessarily like these options. There are students and professors locked inside the college. Who knows how long Monroe will maintain the siege? And what if they start slaughtering people? Neither group of nobles will care what happens to them. We're going to go inside and pull them out. Come with us if you're ready to take control of your own destiny. The tension in the square is palpable, and the situation is about to implode. Students, commoners, nobles of the mantle, followers of the new faith, all of them are gathering their forces to move in the wall of soldiers. They expect the nobles to let them through en masse. Surely they won't start a massacre. Oh, do you really believe that, guys? Do you really think they care? Archduke Monroe is just going to butcher everybody. 150,000%. The lotless, led by Sophia, prepared to break through the siege to rescue the people in the college. All the while the priests preach peace to both sides of the conflict. The college is your only way into the nobility. Only you can fight for your new lot and fulfill your duty to your family. You could organize an offensive strong enough to get into the college and thus seize your lawful right like a true nobleman. Yet, the revelation about the wrath of the gods still pulses in your mind. Once revealed, this vision will take you on a different path, standing with the priests and preaching what you have just seen, warning all of the dire danger on the path of warring estates, bringing the twins' word to the people and guiding them to salvation. Could this be your new lot? Sophia and the lotless, they expect you to join their struggle. They are waiting for you to cast off the old ways and the eternal yoke of subservience. If you choose this path, you will not change your lot, and your suffering will continue. But your suffering might just change this world. This is the moment. Your future will be decided here and now. Okay, so definitely of these three choices, I don't want to throw in my common lot with Sophia because I really don't trust her. I don't trust her. I don't trust her motivations. I don't think she's a good person anymore. So, and we can't preach our revelation because we don't have the stats high enough. So basically, the only way through is break through the cordon into the college and start ourselves on the path of the nobleman. And this also makes a lot of sense because remember, our entire goal is that even though we do not see justice in this society, you know, what we want to do, what Tooru wants to do, is to become a noble, to become a judge, so that he can do his part in helping, you know, helping fix it slowly and surely. The thing is, like, you know, there are times when revolution is like necessary, and definitely Sophia feels like the time is now, but Tooru is thinking first and foremost of his family. He's not thinking about like a societal struggle. He just wants to make life easier for his family because at the end of the day, that's what drives him. That's what drives him. So we're going to break through to the college and start ourselves on the path of the nobleman. Get to work, recalling the books and military tactics that you used to study as a boy. You call out to the students and children of nobles around you and assume command. They hear you, and they listen. You stand together in close formation and march towards the weakest link in the line of nobles. More people joining you along the way. A veritable phalanx of young men armed with nothing but determination against the noblemen's swords. The noble militia readies their steel. The Archnean officer in command of this section halts and orders you to turn back. You step forward and give him your reply. These people are here to study at the college as the Emperor himself has decreed. You have every right to fulfill the imperial law, and any nobles who dare to intervene will be defying Uther Tempest II himself. Your plan works. The officer hesitates when confronted with your words and vigor. The noble militia is no longer ready to use their swords. This is your chance. You command your forces to focus their advantage in numbers for a singular push, and the militia line breaks. You reach the college gates. More people start running for the breach. The nobles get their bearings quickly enough to restore the line, but your phalanx is already inside. You waste no time and begin barricading the gate. The students who are stuck inside the college run towards you. You quickly tell them your plan. Block all the doors and windows with whatever comes to hand before Monrogue's forces can get in. If they do get in, only the twins will know what they do. One by one, all the entrances are swiftly barricaded. Oh, this is nutty. This is crazy. The riot outside the college has calmed for a moment, it seems. Through an open window, you hear Monroe giving orders to his militia. The Archduke is forming a strong perimeter outside the college, ready for a proper siege. Students and professors of the college go to the balcony to negotiate. You are among them. Surrender and leave this building. I am not here to kill or execute you. No loyal subjects will die by my hand. The humans boo and jeer at Monrogue's proposal. The dean himself appears on the balcony. The imperial family established the college, he claims, and he cannot defy the orders given by the great Archnean Tempest dynasty. And so the college remains besieged. The noble militia stands in a circle around the building, but there are no preparations for an assault. The outrage in the square continues. You remain in control of the college for the entire day and the following night. But at sunrise, the Emperor's herald arrives in the square. He brings news. Oh, so the Emperor's coming. Or at least he has sent word. He knows what's going on. The Emperor is delighted to see Archduke Monroe in the capital. And yet, he demands that the noble militia of Monia vacate the square and allow classes to begin at the college. Yay, they're siding with us. They're siding with us. The Emperor's siding with us at least. The besieged college celebrates the news. This is the work of Cornelius Tempest, great chancellor, the emperor's brother. He managed to convince the emperor to order Monroe to withdraw. Even the Archduke of Monia, the most powerful noble lord in all the empire, cannot disobey a direct order from the emperor. Still, the college never would have held out for an entire day without your phalanx's determination and your daring plan. You, the people of the common estate, have secured your right to study and earn the noble lot. The college is open again, and the entrance exam will take place in a few days. You aren't nervous at all this time. All the lessons at home, all the books, schooling, your own noble actions, all that work and effort has finally reached its culmination. The procedure for appointing a provincial overseer, the 5 great Archnean dynasties, the property rights of all estates. You answer all these questions with ease. Hours pass, and the dean of the college reads the names of the new students to the young men gathered at the college steps. Your name is among the first. He praises what you did in defense of the college. People like you are the empire's future, Sir Brant. Yes. Sunlight fills the college square. It feels so soft and soothing here in Eterna, not as harsh as it gets in Anazot. You watch the pillar shine in the sky as you walk down the steps of the college. You are a Brant, the 3rd judge in the family, the man who will soon join the family's noble blood tide. You have seized your right to achieve the noble's lot. You should write to your father now. He'll be so proud of you. Oh. Oh. Yes, we did it, guys. We did it. Like your father and grandfather, you enroll in the Imperial College hoping to become a judge and a nobleman of the mantle. That is really life-changing. You know, this particular thing, that's absolutely life-changing. And you know what? That's so life-changing. That's so life-changing. I am going to go ahead and finish the stream at this point. So I want to thank everybody for coming along. I will just, before I finish the stream, let's actually just hop over to here and have a little bit of a chat before we go. So, just wanted to say I want to thank everybody for coming along. Thank you. We have some new people in the stream, which is really good to see. We have some returning regulars in the stream, which is just as good to see. Thank you all for your presence. So what we'll be doing for the rest of this week, here we go. Here's my schedule this week. We've already gone through Monster Hunter stories. We'll be playing again next week, and I would want to do like a single stream to finish Monster Hunter Stories 2, because we are now getting close to the end of the story, and I really want to get that done in like one big session if possible. But for this week, the only other stream I've got scheduled for this week is on Sunday at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So I know that people watching might not necessarily be in Australia, so you might not know the time zones, but it's approximately 4 hours ago. And it will be on Sunday or probably like Saturday night, Sunday morning for people living in the United States, as an example. But it will be 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and Australian Eastern Standard Time is GMT plus 10. So go ahead and, convert that to your own local time if necessary. And what we'll be doing is we'll be playing a little bit of Hitman 3, and having a little bit of a chat. But there is a little bit of a I can't think of the word right now. There's a little bit of it's not a surprise, but there's something unusual, right, about this upcoming Hitman stream, because we will be gaming on the 5600G. And what that is that's an APU, that's an AMD APU, which has the CPU and an integrated graphics chip. And the reason why I want to do this is because I really enjoy PC technology. I like talking about it. I like discussing it. I like messing around with it. And so that'll be a lot of fun for me personally. But also, I know that there are people out there who may want to become a VTuber, or they might want to become a streamer, or just in general if they want to get into PC gaming. But they look at the graphics card prices on the market right now, and they say, man, I can't afford that. You know, graphics cards are like twice the price that they should be, if not 3 times the price, and I can't afford that. And so that's why we have, the 5600G testing, because, that can potentially get you to a level where you can game some games at like, 1080p or like maybe 720p or something like that, like basic games, basic settings, without needing to buy a super expensive graphics card. And that's why I'm having the stream, because I want to create content that goes just a little bit outside of like the standard gaming stuff, and potentially maybe useful for the people in the audience or just people in general, because I do plan on cutting it down and then turning it into a VOD and then posting it on YouTube. I do have a YouTube where I archive my streams if you want to catch like my previous streams, and I sometimes do make clips as well. So if you want to catch like any comedic clips, I will post them on Twitter, and I will post them on YouTube, and all of the information that's necessary for all of that is in my About page. So yeah, I am going to hop off for the time being, but we'll see if we can raid somebody today, guys. Let's see if we can raid somebody today. Who's available? Oh, you actually got a few people raiding. A few people. So I think I will raid Persephone tonight. And Persephone is a streamer. She's a VTuber. She's currently playing through Phasmophobia. I only started talking to her recently. I saw her on Twitter. She had a pretty cool post. And, introduced myself and all of that stuff. She's currently playing Phasmophobia. So if you're in the mood for like a bit of a spook or a bit of a scare, or actually, yeah, if you're in a bit of in that kind of mood, then please go say hello. And like there are other people as well that are streaming. There is currently Sophia Broadcast is streaming as well. Wait, is she streaming her? Hold on a second before I send you guys off. I want to send you to Persephone, which is nice, but Sophia's actually debuting a new model. So I don't know. I feel sorry for Persephone because she's a really nice lady. She's a very nice lady. But we're going to raid Sophia because she currently has a new outfit and she's debuting her new outfit, and she's also mixing it up with a bit of a music stream. So we've raided Sophia a few times before. She's multilingual. She's Japanese, but she can also speak English. He's learning English. Go say hello. Like good content, very enjoyable content, very nice person. She plays Yakuza. She plays Persona. She plays Monster Hunter. Good game selection and all of that stuff. So please go say hello to Sophia. Please go say hello to Sophia. And please also check out Persephone as well. I will link Persephone's Twitch in my chat in just a moment. Let me just get the URL. But I do want to give a little bit of a preference to Sophia, because Sophia right now is doing a special stream with the new incarnation of her outfit, of her model. So please go say hello. And again, thank you for coming along. I will see you on Sunday. I may stream tomorrow. I may stream on Saturday, but that's not planned. So if I do decide to do that, I will let you guys know on Twitter. So please check out my Twitter as well. It's in the About page. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye from Tooru to you. Thank you. Take care of yourselves. And I hope to see you all around next time. So let's get the raid for Sophia going. Take care, guys, and have a nice day or evening wherever you are right now.